Okay, I'm going to call the meeting to order. I apologize to the public. We're a little late starting. Thanks to Microsoft and their lovely updates. We had just a little bit of technical difficulty. However, at this time, I'd like to remind council and municipal staff that this meeting is being live streamed to the public. All council meetings are also recorded. Recordings will be available to the public on the township's YouTube account. This meeting is held electronically under bylaw 2020-70 to amend procedural bylaw 2018-117 pursuant to section 238 of the Municipal Act 2001 as amended. We will not be having the national anthem this morning due to the limitations of our technology, so I'd like to do the First Nations land acknowledgement. As we gather today, I'd like to acknowledge on behalf of council and our community that we are meeting on the traditional territory of the Algonquin people. We would like to thank the Algonquin people and express our respect and support for their rich history. And we are extremely grateful for their many and continued displays of friendship. We also thank all the generations of people who have taken care of this land for thousands of years. All right, we'll move to the adoption of the agenda. Now, there is an amendment to the agenda, council. You have under 16.1, under new business, sorry, a site plan agreement with St. Francis Memorial Hospital Association. That has actually been done as a bylaw. So there's the addition of 12.4, which will be bylaw 2022-56 regarding the site plan agreement between St. Francis Memorial Hospital Association and the Township of Madawaska Valley. And with that, we will delete 16.1. Sue, is there anything else I'm missing on the agenda or that needs to be amended?
No, that's all we have for amendment.
Okay, great. Thank you. So the recommendation is that the regular council meeting agenda for Tuesday, May 17th, 2022 be approved as amended. Could I get a mover, please? Moved by Councillor Peplinski, seconded by Councillor Wilmer. All those in favor? And that's carried. Is there any disclosure of pecuniary interest this morning?
None.
None.
None here.
Okay, seeing none. This morning, I don't have a mayor's address for you. There was nothing that I particularly wanted to speak about today. So we'll just move straight forward into the confirmation of the minutes. We have the council and committee meeting minutes for May 3rd. And just before I read the recommendation, just one little note. If you go to page 17 of your agenda package, you'll note on the confirming bylaw that the number needs to be changed to 52 on the resolutions. It says 2022-51 and it was actually 2022-52. Gwen, that's just one of those things that didn't catch up with the changes. So if you could just make that change. Was there any other errors or omissions on these minutes, council? Okay, not seeing any. So the recommendation is that the council and committee meeting minutes, including all committee recommendation. Oh, sorry, I apologize. Are there any of the committee recommendations that council wishes to discuss? Councillor Peplinski.
Yes, Mayor Love, actually dealing with 12.3 unfinished business. There was reports that we were expecting to get, and I don't see them in the package. So or on the agenda. I'm just wondering, has that been put off?
I'll have the CAO respond to that.
Thanks, Councillor Peplinski. I sent an email later yesterday to council, and I was going to report on it in business arising from the minutes. That report, due to some scheduling, has been put off, and it will be coming back at the June committee meeting. So the first meeting of the month.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, so it's coming. It's just not quite here yet. All right. So the recommendation is that the council and committee meeting minutes, including all committee recommendations for May 3rd, 2022 are approved as amended. Could I get a mover, please? Moved by Councillor Bromwich, seconded by Councillor Schulist. Any discussion on the recommendation? Seeing none, all those in favor? And that's carried. Any business arising from the minutes? Okay, so council, as the CAO just mentioned, the operational service delivery review is going to be with us at our council and committee meeting at the beginning of June. All right, we will move to municipal reports. First, we have a tender for the tender 2022-06 for a half-ton truck. And Hillary, you're here with us to let us know that you weren't terribly successful.
Through you, Chair, Mayor Love. Yeah, I believe this is the new wave. So we weren't very successful. So this one's just for, as we work through these tenders, they're all self-explanatory, and we're going to proceed in actually contacting every dealer within 100 miles. Hopefully we get a hit back. That's our goal with this tender. Any questions?
Any questions from council? Could anyone believe there's come a day when we actually as a municipality have money to spend and no one wants to sell us something? It's quite surprising. It is obviously very hard to get a hold of things due to supply chain issues. Okay, so that one, Hillary, we'll just accept that as information and let you work your magic and see. Oh, Councillor Poplinski, sorry.
Yes, thanks, Mayor Love. I think it's because what they want to sell you is a electric truck. So it's obviously they got lots of those. My observations.
Okay, well, if they don't have what we need, that certainly wouldn't be what we need. So Hillary, you'll just proceed to work your magic and get back to us if you get some bids.
Correct. So we go to plan B and circulate it way out there.
Okay.
So
no, great. Thank you. Okay, well, we'll move on to the next one. Tender 2022-04 SUV all-wheel drive.
Again, through you, Chair. Self-explanatory. We received the one bid, which is better than none, and it's within the ballpark. Pre-tax is 36,000. We have 35,000 budgeted. So there's a recommendation attached.
Okay. I'll have Sue read the recommendation and then I'll see if there's any questions.
Through the chair, that council approve the operations manager recommendation to award tender MV 2022-04 for an SUV all-wheel drive to Summers Brothers Ford in the amount of $41,758.02, HST included, subject to requirements of the tender, and that the expense be applied against account 0150814703013 transportation equipment capital budget.
Okay, thank you. Can I get a mover for that? Moved by Councillor Bromwich, seconded by Councillor Schulist. Anyone have any questions on that recommendation on the tender? Okay, I don't see any, Hillary. So all those in favor? And that's carried. Our next one is tender 2022-05 for crushed gravel. Hillary, did you want to comment on that one?
So this one is getting a little bit better. We got two bids, which is Cloutier Construction, right within the ballpark of what we have budgeted. So we're right on line, and there's a recommendation toward the standard to Cloutier Construction.
Okay, great. Sue, can you read the recommendation?
Through the chair, that council approve the operations manager recommendation to award tender MV 2022-05 crushed gravel to Cloutier Construction in the amount of $136,956, HST included, subject to requirements of the tender, and that the expense be applied against account 01-50814703013, budget 2022, roadway capital expenditure gravel resurfacing various roads.
Okay, could I get a mover, please? Moved by Councillor Poplinski, seconded by Councillor Wilmer. Any questions, Councillor, or any discussion on the recommendation? Okay, seeing none, all those in favor? And that's carried. All right, our next one is tender 2022-03 train station siding replacement. Hillary, did you want to speak to that one?
So again, through you, Chair, we received two tenders, Zircon and Quality Homes, and to be awarded to Quality Homes, I'm still looking at the old one, but okay, I had them backwards. Yeah, as recommended toward the quality homes, and I think we lost. No, so it's still there.
Did you want me to read the resolution, Hillary? I
Correct.
believe what you were looking at was there was an error on the original agenda. Is that what you're referring to?
Yes, and
So the actual number would be 141,484.16.
it is corrected here.
Okay.
I was reading it wrong. Perfect.
Okay.
All
Okay,
good.
so the number in the report, the recommendation on the report is the wrong number. Is that what I'm
No.
looking at?
No, it's corrected. I looked at it quickly, and it's quality homes for 141,484.
Okay, the
Mayor
report I
Love,
have. Sorry,
Yes, Mayor Love, you're correct. The report that you have says 143,000 on the agenda. It was, it will reflect 141. The deputy clerk has made that change and will reappendix the change to reflect the report to say 141,484.16.
Okay. Gwen, did you want to speak to that?
I did change the report yesterday and the agenda and published it. So when Hillary logged in, he does see the correct amount. So that's probably
Okay, all right. So,
Okay.
and I downloaded the agenda
probably
think
on
on
Sunday
Friday.
night or
Yeah.
yes.
Oh,
and it
Sunday
changed
night.
then.
Oh, you
Okay.
optimist. Friday.
So it has been
Okay.
changed since then.
Okay, so as long as it, I like the public to be able to see the actual correct amount, that's great. So Sue, did you want to read the recommendation?
Yes, through the chair, that council approve the operations manager recommendation to award MV 202203 train station siding tender to Quality Homes and Renovations in the amount of 141,484.16, HST included, subject to the requirements of the contract, and that the expense be applied to account 015-2838-799998 railway station capital expenditure.
All right, could I get a mover, please? Moved by Councillor Wilmer, seconded by Councillor Poplinski. Is there any questions or discussion on that recommendation? Okay, seeing none, all those in favor? And that's carried. Is Councillor Schulist frozen? I think he is. Okay. Oh, he moved. Councillor Schulist? Okay, you're back? Okay, you're muted. Okay, good. Because you weren't moving there for a bit. So you are in favor of it. Okay. All right, we'll move on to application for digital service squad grant in partnership with KHR and Hannah. Good morning, Hannah.
Yeah, so this is just, we're just looking for council support. Killaloe Haggerty Richards is going to be applying for this grant, and we're also, we want to partner with them alongside a number of other local municipalities. And it would just provide funds to be able to have local businesses use, a 360 camera to do, online or digital tours of their shops, as well as bring in some professionals and some experts on adoption of technology, SEO, social media, all that fun stuff. So we're just looking for council support to partner with KHR for this grant application.
Okay, great. Sue, did you want to read the recommendation?
Yes, through the chair, that council approve the joint application with the Rural Community Cooperative Group for a digital service squad through the Digital Main Street funding stream.
Okay, could I get a mover, please? Moved by Councillor Schulist, seconded by Councillor Poplinski. Is there any discussion on the recommendation or any questions for Hannah? Okay, I'm seeing none. So all those in favor? And that's carried. All right, Canada Community Building Fund, formerly the gas tax. Amanda, who looks like she's in Sue's office. Good morning, Amanda.
Okay, so my report explains to you that basically I acted in haste when building the 2022 budget for the capital side, as we typically use the Canada Community Building Fund monies to offset the costs of capital projects for the roads department. I had just requested we apply it to the roads department for road construction costs. And then when I went to log in and I was reminded that we need to set up signs and do 3 sets of reports for each project. So what that means is there would be 4 roads projects I would have to report on with 3 sets of reports. So myself and Hillary and Mike would have to do 12 reports and then set up 4 signs. You have to acknowledge the funding from the federal government for each of these. So I am just requesting that council allow us to identify the Paul J. Yakabuski Community Center, the ice surface replacement, as the Canada Community Building Fund project. This would eliminate a lot of reporting for us, and we would just be required to have 1 sign. This would not change the impact of the budget to the ratepayers in any way. The budget would still balance. And so if council wishes to just leave it as it is, I understand that, and I will just continue to do the reporting. But I am requesting that council give us a little bit of that break to allow us to use or report the funds to be used as the Paul J. Yakabuski Community Center ice surface replacement project.
Okay, thank you, Amanda. So to take it down to 1 reporting rather than 4.
Yes.
Okay, something to remember for next time, right?
Correct.
Okay, does anyone have any questions? Any concerns? Okay, maybe I'll get Sue to read the recommendation and we'll cut the red tape for Amanda and for Hillary.
Mhm.
Through the chair, the council approves that the Paul J. Yakabuski Community Center ice surface replacement be identified as the capital project for the Canada Community Building Fund.
Okay, great. Thank you. Can I get a mover for that? Moved by Councillor Poplinski, seconded by Councillor Bromwich. Any discussion on the recommendation? Seeing none, all those in favor? And that's carried. Look at that. We're doing better than the province. We just cut our red tape significantly.
Thank you so much. It's very much appreciated.
Thank you, Amanda. All right, we will move now into bylaws, and just a second here. Our first bylaw, I do believe, Sue, was that the one that had the changes? Bylaw 2022-53, the division registrar bylaw?
Yes, it is. So
Okay.
it doesn't change the intent. It was just the second paragraph. There was a duplication in words there.
Yes, so I believe council got a copy of this by email.
They
So
did, yes.
number 2 now says that the necessary steps be taken to make application to the Registrar General to have Gwen Dombrowski, Deputy Clerk, as Deputy Division Registrar for the municipality.
That's correct.
So that just so the council is aware. So bylaw 2022-53 regarding the appointment of the CAO clerk as division registrar and to have appointed the deputy clerk as deputy division registrar pursuant to the Vital Statistics Act. The recommendation is that bylaw 2022-53, being a bylaw to appoint the CAO clerk as division registrar and to have appointed the deputy clerk as deputy division registrar pursuant to the Vital Statistics Act, be given first and second reading this 17th day of May 2022 as amended. Could I get a mover, please? Moved by Councillor Schulis, seconded by Councillor Bromwich. Is there any discussion on this bylaw? Seeing none, all those in favor? And that's carried. The recommendation is that bylaw 2022-53 be given third and final reading the 17th day of May 2022 as amended. Moved by Councillor Poplinski, seconded by Councillor Wilmer. Any final discussion on this bylaw? Seeing none, all those in favor? And that's carried. Our next bylaw is 2022-54 regarding appointment of lottery licensing officers. The recommendation is that bylaw 2022-54, being a bylaw to appoint lottery licensing officers, be given first and second reading this 17th day of May 2022. Could I get a mover, please? Moved by Councillor Wilmer, seconded by Councillor Bromwich. Is there any discussion on this bylaw? Seeing none, all those in favor? And that's carried. The recommendation is that bylaw 2022-54 be given third and final reading the 17th day of May, 2022. Moved by Councillor Poplinski, seconded by Councillor Schulist. Any final discussion on the bylaw? Seeing none, all those in favor? And that's carried. Next, bylaw 2022-55 regarding the appointment of the CAO clerk, deputy clerk, and treasurer as the issuer and deputy issuers of marriage licenses. The recommendation is that bylaw 2022-55, being a bylaw to appoint the CAO clerk, deputy clerk, and the treasurer as the issuer and deputy issuers of marriage licenses, be given first and second reading the 17th day of May, 2022. Moved by Councillor Poplinski, seconded by Councillor Schulist. Is there any discussion on this bylaw? Seeing none, all those in favor? And that's carried. The recommendation is that bylaw 2022-55 be given third and final reading the 17th day of May, 2022. Moved by Councillor Wilmer, seconded by Councillor Bromwich. Any final discussion on this bylaw? Seeing none, all those in favor? And that's carried. Okay, and this next one is the addition. So I just want to get it right here. All right, 12.4 is the addition to the agenda. It's bylaw 2022-56 regarding a site plan agreement between St. Francis Memorial Hospital Association and the Corporation of the Township of Madawaska Valley. The recommendation is that bylaw 2022-56, being a bylaw to authorize the entering into and execution of a site plan agreement between St. Francis Memorial Hospital Association and the Corporation of the Township of Madawaska Valley, be given first and second reading the 17th day of May, 2022. Could I get a mover, please? Moved by Councillor Schulist, seconded by Councillor Poplinski. Is there any discussion on the bylaw? Okay, Sue.
No discussion, just comment. I did have Andy, the planning and building advisor, reviewed the site plan to ensure that it reflected the information that was discussed and forwarded to the county.
Okay, so has this been through the county?
Yes, we have done some general inquiries.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So is there any questions then? Okay, seeing none, all those in favor? And that's carried. The recommendation is that bylaw 2022-56 be given third and final reading the 17th day of May, 2022. Moved by Councillor Bromwich, seconded by Councillor Wilmer. Any final discussion on the bylaw? Seeing none, all those in favor? And that's carried. Okay, that gets us through bylaws. Just let me. Got a bunch of extra papers here now. The mayor doesn't normally use papers, so slows me up. There we are. Okay, so we don't have any public meeting or correspondence, and the new business was removed from the agenda. Sue, do we have any unfinished business?
Not on the staff side, no, thank you.
Okay. All right, then our next item is an in-camera session. The recommendation is that the meeting enter in-camera session to discuss matters pertaining to personal matters about an identifiable individual, including municipal or local board employees, labor relations or employee negotiations, litigation or potential litigation, including matters before administrative tribunals affecting the municipality or local board, advice that is subject to solicitor-client privilege, including communications necessary for that purpose. Ontario Municipal Act 2001, Chapter 25, Section 239, 2B, E, D, and F. Number 1 is the council and committee meeting minutes in camera of May 3rd, 2022. Could I get a mover, please? Moved by Councillor Bromwich, seconded by Councillor Wilmer. All those